Okay.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining our presentation today about Snom's new M500 Pro series. I have our co-host Jim Cassidy on with me today, and we will keep this pretty short and sweet for you. I'm Mary Cheney. I'm the marketing manager here at VoIP Supply, and we've had a very strong partnership with Snom over the last couple of years, and we're very, very excited for you to be here so that they can present this amazing new solution. So I'm just going to hand this right over to Jim so that we can get this started for you today. So Jim, take it away.
Thanks, Mary. Appreciate it. And thank you all for joining today for the presentation on the Snom M500 Pro Series. This is a new product that has now just gotten to into the market. We've just launched the M500 series. And just a quick overview, this is basically geared toward the small to medium business type environment is the application you're looking for this. And we'll get a little bit more into it. Mary, if you can move me up one. There we go. All right. So the M500 series is a nice little family of products. You'll see here the M500 Pro base station, which is basically a DECT transmitter, DECT 6.0 transmitter, and your access point. So your line will come into the Pro 500 to the M500, and then the M500 will wirelessly communicate to both the M55 handset and the M58 desk phone. Each of these devices pairs wirelessly back, so you don't have to run lines out to each of these devices. So it makes installation super easy and pretty much brainless from that point. So you don't have too much physical work to do to get the install done. Next one, Mary. Okay. Before we go deeper into the products here, I just wanted to cover a few things about Snom and the parent company VTech. So VTech has been around since the early 1980s when we first brought cordless telephones into the country. We acquired Snom in 2016, and Snom is based out of Berlin, Germany, where a lot of the engineering is done for our SIP phones. We've been growing steadily in the business here with the Snom, in the US with the Snom brand. And we basically have a full line of products between business desk phones, DECT mobility solutions, conference phones, and our PA1, which has been in the industry for a long time, which is now turning into the PA1 Plus. Snom's the big differentiator in the market, in addition to the pricing and the margins, is also a 3-year warranty on all of our desk phones, DECT mobility, and conference phones. Most of our competition will only do a year, maybe 2. 3-year works very well when you're doing an OpEx type expenditure. It'll cover the term of most leases that are offered out there on this kind of telecom hardware. The other nice part about us is we have engineering, R&D, product sales, marketing, and technical support all based here in North America. So if you need to get a hold of us or use your contacts at VoIP Supply to get a hold of us, we have people here to support you in every means necessary. Also, another big differentiator for us too is the fact that we have product here in our San Antonio, Texas-based warehouse. So it's nice and central throughout the country. And we actually keep a ton of Snom product on hand here to support VoIP Supply and the partners. So when you run into opportunities, we do have product on hand here in the States, which is key nowadays because we all know supply chain has difficulties. So we basically stock it for you. Thanks, Mary. You're reading my mind. Up here next is just some lifestyle shots. So like I said, we're aiming at the small to medium business size market. You can see the illustrations of a small, dental or doctor's office, auto repair type locations. How many times have you went in and had oil change done on your car, and you have the person at the front counter who has the phone and he puts it down on the counter and has to walk out into the garage and ask the mechanic, is the car ready? And then he comes back in, you hear all the noise. With this system and some of the features I'll get into here in a minute, that eliminates all that kind of craziness. But you can see small office here application. Also pizza shops, restaurants. it's all super key on this one. And speaking of keys, when we get into talking about the M500, we'll show you the simplicity of how it's used in these environments. Go ahead, Mary. Thanks. Okay, so the M500 here, like we were showing, is comprised of the M500 base unit, and then here's the 58 and the 55s. So one of the key things we want to point out here is when I mentioned about small to medium businesses, there's lots of applications here where you have a high amount of turnover within your employment. So if you have a pizza shop or a small restaurant or whatever, small, medium business, you can have a lot of turnover of employees. And teaching people how to use the phone is not something that most small to medium sized business owners want to spend their time on. So what we've done here is we've actually put key lines like the old phone systems from way back, where we've actually put actual line keys on the handsets and on the desk phone, so that when you actually have an active call, you can literally just press the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 line keys that you see shown here on the M55. So this makes it really easy for somebody who's a new hire to come in and say, hey, look, when the phone rings, just press the blinking line key and say hello and the business name, et cetera, et cetera. So it's really easy for any person to be able to come into a business and immediately start using the phone without having to worry about trying to park calls and do all sorts of crazy stuff. This is pretty simple right out of the box. Anybody can use this system. Next. Now I see we had a text in here as well. This will be, the question that came in was, is this a replacement for our VDP-65 series? It's similar to that, but much more enriched. So the 65 series you can find in the Snom brand as the M100 series. But this M500 is a big step up from those monochrome with only 4 line keys. This has color, 6 line keys, et cetera, et cetera. So hopefully that answers your chat question. Here what we want to show is a patent that we've won on this, because we've actually been able to show now BLF monitoring over DECT. So in the next 2 slides we're going to show you here, look at the line keys on the M55 handset, and you can see the M55 desk phone, and you can see the green status indicators on these particular lines. Mary, if you want to move us forward. Whoops, I think we skipped a slide in there. Here we go. Perfect. So you'll notice that the green line appearances now on the desk phone on the M58, you can see where it says shop to, and it's lit up in red. So basically what this is doing is it's monitoring the calls for you, so you can see which lines are busy and what the status is on each of these. And this all happens through cordless DECT 6.0 technology to see your BLF statuses of your lines. So this is a unique feature that we've been able to patent, and a big first for the industry to keep products simple. Next. Okay, so we'll go back to the M500 here. After just the key line portion, we'll talk a little bit more about the system in general. So if we can go forward one more. Okay, so when I first mentioned about the M500 system, I hadn't talked yet about scalability or size of the system and the capacity it can handle. So this slide here illustrates that the M500, you can actually deploy 2 of them at this point. Our engineering plans is to expand it even more, but what this will allow for is increased capacity of the number of users within a system, and it will increase the range of the space of the system it can cover via cordless DECT 6.0 technology. So we compare up to 2 of these on a system. And one of the things I wanted to mention about is by doing a second base station like this, an extra M500, many of you all may have heard of repeaters out there in the industry. And what has come to light is the cost of building a repeater as opposed to a whole nother base station, is the fact that the repeaters will actually provide less range, and it will decrease the number of active call capacity that you can handle on a repeater. So for the cost of producing it, it actually makes more sense to build a new base unit than it does to actually build a repeater that's only going to cover a little bit more extended range, but it reduces the number of call capacity you can have on the system. So that's why the architecture we've chosen for this system is to add an extra M500. Next. Okay. Here's just a quick deployment example of what a system would look like in a given environment that we've virtually mocked up. So here you can see the M500, okay, that's where your access point would be, and then it cordlessly transmits to the M58s and M55s as illustrated. Like I mentioned, you don't need to run Ethernet runs to all these devices. They're all paired back cordlessly to the M500 or two M500s if you so choose to add a second one for more range. Next, please. Okay, so let's just take apart the M500 base unit as it is real quickly. Like I said, we can add up to, we can either do single or multi-cell operation for the M500s within the system, up to 48 SIP accounts, 8 concurrent calls in narrowband mode, and up to 10 DECT devices on a single cell unit. So if you're only using one M500, you can add up to 10 additional devices, 10 M58s or M55s, mix and match however you like based on the environment you have, and it'll support that. If you go and add a second M500, you can mix and match up to 16 different DECT devices, mixing and matching, once again, M55s and M58s. DECT is okay, universal throughout. So what we're looking to do in the future is to increase the number of M500s that could also go on this system, but that will be for further future software updates and firmware updates. Next. Okay, just covering some of the highlight points of the M55 handset itself. Antibacterial plastics. In light of the COVID situation that has been out in the field, when you have small to medium businesses, people working in close proximity, high turnover of employees, antibacterial plastics are much more preferred. So that's why we've decided to go that route here with Snom. The 2.4-inch color LCD display is an upgrade from the question that you all mentioned earlier about the VDP-65 series, which is monochrome. Many of the people choose color at this point because it's starting to get to that price point where everyone can. One of the key features on here too is the page key on the side of the handset. I gave an example earlier about the oil change place and not having to run out into the garage bays and ask the oil change mechanic if the car is ready or whatnot. And what would be really sweet on this phone is the fact that from both the base unit to the handset or vice versa, you can do a page one or page all. And it will do it without taking up a line appearance. So this is basically an intercom key, a page/intercom key. So when you hit the key on the side here, it will ring either all phones on the system, or you can go roll down and select just the individual that you want to talk to. And then that stops you from having to run from the office all the way out into the bays, asking somebody if the car is ready, and then run all the way back and then tell the caller that the car is going to be ready in 10 minutes. So this saves a lot of the hustle and bustle throughout the environments of a small to medium business where you can just page people directly and or page all. 3 soft programmable keys. They're kind of hard to see in this illustration a little bit, but there's 3 of them that are programmable across there. The 6 programmable line keys we've already covered, and then Bluetooth for a headset connection. So a lot of these applications in small to medium businesses, you want to be able to be hands-free as well as mobile. So this obviously has Bluetooth built into the handset, and you can pair a Bluetooth headset to it to keep you hands-free and mobile. Next. Okay, the M58 is basically the M55, except for now with a desk phone type layout. You can add a 5-inch color screen. You can do 8 programmable line keys, 4 soft keys. So you can basically just have more real estate on the desk phone to add more keys which a lot of people like from a desk phone anyway. So basically, it's the M55 emulated exactly the same in the M58, just increasing some keys and size of the color LCD display. Next. Okay, so one of the nice things about this, and I mentioned about the ease of install and the reduced cost and time it takes to put this in because it's all cordless. Oh, actually, Mary, I think you you skipped me once over there. Let me go back to the one you had. No. Past that one. There we go. So obviously the phones will be provisioned to the service provider that you would install these phones with. But as far as programming the actual phones themselves, like you noticed on some of the earlier slides, we showed Pizza Shop 1 and so on and so forth on the displays. So what we've done is a simple web GUI interface where it's basically drop and select to alpha tag and create either the names on the individual handsets or desk phones. So all that's done right here in just a screen capture that we've showed you for the M55 and the M58. So you can basically drop and select and then alpha tag things and everything else. And that will automatically update your M55s and M58s with Mary's phone, Jim's phone, Simon's phone, etc. So basically it's pretty idiot proof to be able to program the phones once you have them installed and put together. It shouldn't take long for you to customize all the handsets and options you want as far as each of the programmable keys on each of both the desk phone or the cordless handset. Next, please. Okay, and this is just a deployment little sketch to show you what it would really look like in the real world. So you have your cloud service provider, you do a modem router, fine, and you'll have your PoE standard switch, and then from there you run your LAN cable out to your M500s. And then of course all your devices beyond there, like we mentioned, are all cordless back to the M500s. And then we have one other version here without the network infrastructure, and you can see it's even simplified a little bit more here. So installation is pretty simple, and like I said, programming is a breeze with the drop-down GUI interface. Next, please. Okay, and here's just a recap. I saw the text from earlier, and I mentioned about the VDP-65 series is actually the M100 series, which you can see here. We did a quick little mock-up comparison chart amongst our M100s versus our M500s. And you can see where the number of line keys is, increased on the M500, the capability of adding 2 M500s as opposed to only 1 on the M100. Number of concurrent calls is increased, color display. So there's a lot of step-up features to this M500, much more so than beyond the M100 or, as the question came through earlier, VDP-65 series. So it's just a quick comparison chart. Next. Mary, is that the last one?
I am not, yeah, it is not letting me move forward on.
Okay, I think that is
that is the last slide.
That's the last one. Okay, and for everyone in attendance here, I just want to call out one quick thing. So that's basically the presentation on the M500 in a nutshell for everyone. But I do want to call out some special things that Snom has running right now to make you more money. We have a partner rebate portal program. It's under snomrewards.com. And we highly encourage you to visit that site and also speak with your VoIP supply sales representatives. Visiting that site, you create yourself a little account. You can upload your invoices to that site. And we basically have dollar amounts assigned to pretty much every model within the Snom brand. Some are up to $10 a phone. So you can go on there, log your invoices, and then when you hit a total of $50. Oh, thank you, Mary.
You're welcome.
Yeah, very, very nicely done. On the fly, too. That's incredible, ladies and gentlemen. So here you can see up to $10 a phone on all these devices. And this program is going to run all the way through December 31st, 2023. So you have a great opportunity for every one of these phones you deploy, file your invoices, and what we're going to do is basically load a gift card for you at every $50 increment when you claim from the website. So make sure you visit snomrewards.com to register for Snom sales so you can make these claims and get a lot of extra added bonus money here for your sales of Snom products.
And Jim, we'll make sure we have that this flyer attached in the follow-up email after the webinar today, so you'll have that information handy. And looks like we do have a couple more questions. Would you like me to read those off to you?
I just saw one of them come across here. What hosted VoIP providers are supporting this device? Nextiva, Ring Central seem to. Thomas, we're actually doing testing with the M500, so this is actually an ongoing conversation behind the scenes right now. But if there's custom templates or anything that you need, we can also provide to do that. But we are working with all the service providers out there to be able to support this M500 series. And Thomas, if you have more questions, let me know if you need more detail on that.
And then it looks like we had one other question come in. It says, this one's from Derek, and it's for the IP55, what is the IP rating?
The IP55 rating, Derek, I do not know that off the top of my head. I can get you an answer for that. I'd have to double check it for you, Derek. I don't know that off the top of my head.
So Derek, we can follow up with you after the webinar on that. Does
Derek,
anybody else? Oh,
Derek,
go ahead.
Derek, can you let us know who your account rep is so that I can make sure I get it communicated back to you as follow-up from this call?
Does he? I can follow up with him after.
Okay.
Are there any other questions while we have Jim on the line here? All right. I don't think we have any more questions, so I think that pretty much wraps it up. Jim, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to our partners and for going through the ins and outs of this new series. We're very excited as well. We do have these products in stock, and like I said, we will get out this additional information on the rewards program and how you can sign up for that. We already received some very positive feedback from other partners on this, so it's very unique, and thank you to our partners at Snom for putting this together for our partners. So if there's no other further questions, we'll call that a webinar for today, and we will be following up with some additional information for you. Thank you so much, Jim.
Mary, thank you. And to all the partners who took the time here today, thank you for all attending. And if you have any additional questions, please reach out to your VoIP supply sales reps. And if we don't have the answers for you, we will certainly get them to you. But thank you all for attending. I appreciate the time.
Thank you. And we will also be sending a quick follow-up with the winner for the giveaway as well. So we'll put the name of that individual in there for you too. So thank you, everybody. Take care.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.